Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts with breaking news.
That breaking news, many of you waking up this morning in the dark. This is a live look at the OPPD outage map. You can see over 1,000 customers without power, with the majority in Douglas and Sarpy counties. Across the river in Iowa with Mid-American Energy, around 470 customers are out. Right now, we don't know the exact cause of the outages or an estimated time to restore that power, but stay with us as we work to learn more. All right, it's good to have you with us as we start this Friday. I'm Erin Hartley.
And I'm Cerise Cole, along with meteorologist Jared Lansford, senior chief meteorologist Rusty Lord. Big story today is the heat. This is day one of a whole stretch, right on cue. First day of summer, intense heat, Russ.
And that never-ending discussion. Would you rather have it really, really hot or really, really cold? Like, what's the worst? Okay, everybody. Maybe
all
it's
day,
not
all day for me.
With cold, you could do more about it, right?
Yeah, I think it's tougher to cool down, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as big of a discussion as I do. Who knows? Let's dive into it, though, and we'll show you. First Alert Weather Day starts today all the way through Monday with the potential for heat index values to be atrocious each afternoon. Intense stretch of heat gets us to 101 today. Heat index could reach 115 at times this afternoon. South wind gusts up near 45 miles per hour, just kind of reinforces that heat over the course of the next several days. As of right now, it looks like our low temperature was 76 degrees. May have snuck in a 75, but that is very warm, and we're back up to 77 now. So that coolest part of the day has come and gone, and now we're going to start to heat things up even more. Current temperatures outside the city are already seeing a couple of 80s or close to 80. Look at Beatrice, 80 degrees at 7 o'clock. So a little hint of what's to come the next couple of mornings. UV index up there as well. It's a 10 out of 11. Still don't know why it goes to 11. I gotta look that up. But 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. the peak UV rays. So if you could try to avoid that stretch outdoors, that's the hottest part with the most intense sun. A sunscreen, find some shade. I know it's optimal pool time for many of us. Don't forget, everything gets hot. The pavement gets hot. Don't forget about that with pets. If you're taking them for a walk, either go really early or really late with those, as south winds will just drag in the heat all day. Latest gust to 24 miles per hour. These do start to pick up even more over the next couple of hours. Could gust to 40 for a little while this morning, maybe relaxing a little bit towards lunch and then back up near 40 into the afternoon. So it kind of feels like a blow dryer out there all day long. 101 Friday, 102 Saturday, 100 Sunday, and First Alert Weather Day continues on Monday. We'll go 97. Ultimately, the high will depend upon how quickly these storm chances move in from the north. So afternoon and evening thunderstorms that could be strong to severe, maybe bring some heavier rain as well. Heat index forecast, notice Friday, Saturday, up near 115. This is what we call the peak heat index forecast. And I think we'll see 112 near that on Sunday, up near 108 on Monday. Hopefully backing off a little bit by Tuesday. Now, there's been some storms overnight, had a couple around 11, 12 o'clock last night, and then this batch developed and moved off to the east pretty quickly. So from this point this morning, we're going to take 70s, quickly turn them into 80s. You can see nothing to get in the way of our heat today. I was hoping those would help us out a little bit. Not the case. 93 by noon and 90s all afternoon. Then we just watch the hourly temperatures to see how high we go. I think 100, 101 pretty easily. Some models suggest a couple degrees above that. Best odds for 100 are going to be on the Nebraska side, maybe just a touch cooler on the Iowa side. Good on you if you can tell the difference. By 7 o'clock, we're starting to cool down. Just maybe some stray clouds overnight tonight. And then look at this. Heading into early tomorrow morning, a struggle to cool down. Low 80s are widespread to start your Saturday morning. And then by Saturday night, College World Series, near 101 as first pitch gets going at 6 o'clock. And it may not be cooler than 90 degrees by the end of that game. I know these two places probably used to the heat, but the fans out there, it is going to be atrociously hot for this one. And the Sunday game, that's in the middle of the afternoon with this one. So it is going to be a hot, hot stretch out there for the College World Series finale. And then Monday, if they go to Game 3, they got to deal with some storms.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
I know, shoots right. Okay, as we get into next week, any rain chances coming to the forecast?
I think the Monday into Tuesday round has the potential to be some heavier rain in the area on top of having some severe potential as well. You'll notice here that's why we have the first alert weather day on Monday for the storms in the afternoon and evening, and then those likely continue overnight and into some point on Tuesday as this front drops to the south on Monday, lifts back to the north on Tuesday, and while it does that, it likely brings quite a few showers and storms to the area. Still some potential on Wednesday and even into Thursday. You look at that rainfall potential over the next 5 days, and this encompasses a good chunk of the Monday and Tuesday rain, and you can see what it looks like here. Some 1 to 2 inch rain totals pretty easily. Then you'd start to tack on Wednesday and even into Thursday. We could have some 3s and 4s on here. So that's some good news. Hopefully it's not too much in a short amount of time where we deal with some flash flooding. So we'll have to watch the flooding aspect starting Monday, and then also the potential for some hail and some wind with some of the stronger storms.
Wow, we've got a lot to look forward to.
I know, right? Enjoy this weekend, I guess. Keep an eye on Monday.
All right.
I was sincere.
Yeah, I know, right?
Blaming Mother Nature for the heat, also blaming Mother Nature for some traffic troubles out there this morning, too.
You heard Rusty briefly mention the storms overnight that came 11 midnight. Well, that's kind of had some lingering issues for us. It's had some pretty gusty winds, and that's left us with some power outages that we were telling you about that have improved some, but still impacting some areas. And then you're also looking at some damage that is impacting some of the travel. So let's first start with the power outage situation with that. And we're seeing the numbers start to drop off. That's good news that we aren't seeing quite as many areas being impacted by that, but there are still some outages. And that means you need to watch for intersections where you may have the lights either flashing or completely dark as we're heading out the door for the morning drive. And be ready for some slow travel and delays if you do encounter any of those areas. I think a lot of those are probably going to be centralized around Harrison or so, give or take a few blocks in either direction. That's where we've seen a lot of those outages centralized between about 72nd and 36th. And we've also had some damage reports that have come down into the Bellevue area. This is a tree blocking the road on eastbound Childs near Fort Crook. A couple of parks and such with some limbs that have been knocked down as well. So you need to watch for these kinds of things as you're heading out the door this morning too. If you're driving in Sarpy, perhaps as you make your way into some of our Iowa counties as well, had some strong wind reports in those areas. Aside from anything storm related, of course, you've got delays on westbound I-80, so that's nothing that's too unusual there with the construction zone. You've also got some of the busiest intersections slowing down some. You get on Dodge right around 90th. You're right around the UNO campus. Looks like we've got some delays in both directions. And then 90th and Maple, you're seeing some delays showing up this morning as well. So a couple of things to keep in mind as you're going about your Friday morning commute. Hopefully that doesn't slow you down too much, but you just want to be on your toes as you're driving and watching for those power outages.
Okay, Jared, thank you. In the meantime, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office says a woman has died after a cutting in northwest Omaha. They say it started when 2 people involved in a fight near 89th in Wyoming. Now, the report says one of them had a knife. Both were taken to the hospital. Deputies do believe the man is responsible. They tell us he will face questioning once he is medically cleared from his injuries.
Well, body cam footage of 54-year-old Edward Henry being arrested just hours before his death has been released. Footage from inside the cruiser shows officers switching Henry's handcuffs. Henry can be heard saying, quote, "I'm telling you, it hurts." Henry grabbed a hold of the cruiser bars while officers were trying to take him down. Officers struck his wrists, then Henry let go. Chief Todd Schmaderer says an officer did have a knee placed on Henry's head for a brief time just to control his head. He says it was never on his neck and there was not body weight applied.
Omaha police officers did not discernibly contribute to Mr. Henry's death. Omaha police officers' actions with Mr. Henry was in accordance with our policy, procedures, and training.
Chief Schmaderer says an autopsy shows Henry died of a heart attack. OPD tells us Henry was pulled over for a traffic stop as part of a burglary investigation.
All right, over at the safety desk, fatty liver disease is estimated to affect up to 100 million adults in the USA, but many people don't even know they have it, Marie Kate.
It's true. If it's not treated, one type of the disease can actually lead to a greater risk for other health problems. So it's really important to find out if you are actually suffering from this. Now, fatty liver disease is caused by a buildup of fat in the liver, and that interferes with the organ's ability to function. Now, doctors say sometimes blood work can find a problem, but there's also a screening. It's called a fibroscan, and that quickly examines the liver.
It's essentially just an ultrasound that takes about 10 or 15 minutes. There's no poking, no needles.
Now, experts say lifestyle changes can help, and for some people that might mean weight loss or blood sugar control. There are also some potential medications that are on the horizon to treat this. There's one that's already been FDA approved, and it reduces the inflammation in the liver.
Okay, good to know, Maria. Thank you. We're back after this.
Welcome back, everybody. All morning long, we've been talking about how hot it's going to be the next few days. And of course, we could break some records too.
Might as well while we're here, right?
Might as well.
Let's put some of these in the record books. Let's show you what it looks like over the next 4 days. The record high today is 103. So right now the forecast 101. I wouldn't be surprised if we threaten that, just given where models are. Tomorrow the record's 104, again just a little shy. Sunday the record's 100, so we're close to that. I think of the four, Monday's probably the most out of reach, just given the timing of a cold front. Probably going to shave a little bit off the heat anyway, but 3 triple-digit days that we'll watch to see if we can tie or break some records here. Out the door now, we're at 77. Feels like temperature near 80. Dew points up there in the upper 60s. And widespread 70s here that will probably very quickly, within the next hour, hour and a half, be replaced by some 80s. 80 in Beatrice, 70 in Falls City. That's the range on the map as of right now, and they're pretty close to one another, as a matter of fact. Storms to the east, they're moving out, so no help from Mother Nature to give us some shade today. Near 80 at 8 o'clock, 101 for the high this afternoon. You can see all the windies down here? That persistent south-southwest wind. It's going to have that blow dryer effect and just further add to how uncomfortable it is. Muggy meter today is going to climb into the steamy range as we head into the 8 o'clock hour. Likely there this morning, maybe relaxing a little bit into the afternoon, but it's all about the humidity, and that's going to add to the feels like temperature, that heat index, already near 100 by noon. And then into the afternoon, you can see up into the triple digits. A matter of how high we go into the triple digits, likely could be pushing 115 at times. There's that south wind today, gusting 35 to 45 miles per hour this afternoon. It doesn't relax much tonight. Gusts 30 during the overnight hours, 30 to 35. And then heading into Saturday, we likely see some gusts up near 40 to 45 once again. At least that'll keep the air moving, but it's a hot breeze that we have, and it likely persists into Sunday. A little lighter into Monday. With some storms there to end this hot stretch of weather. I mean, you can see where the peak heat index forecast goes. Up near 115, tailing off a little bit by Sunday and Monday, but still atrocious nonetheless. So this is the 10-day forecast that shows the thunderstorms by Monday and into Tuesday that do have the potential anyway to end the heat and cut a little bit into the humidity, hopefully too. But it looks like in the afternoon, we got some thunderstorms moving through on Monday. And then I think they're going to be pretty slow movers. So we still have chances Monday evening and likely into the overnight hours on Monday too. You can see a lot of green there hanging on the map all the way deep into the nighttime hours on Monday.
Okay, and then heading into next week, what do our rain chances look like?
They just keep going, and we talked about it a little earlier, but let me tell you, this is going to be a slow-moving system. With a front that may stall out. It could be a pretty classic scenario where we deal with rounds of thunderstorms one after the other going over some of the same areas Monday, Tuesday, and into Wednesday. So we need to watch out for flooding potential from some of these. Probably going to have some with some wind, some with some hail, but you can see the rainfall potential. This is over the next 7 days. Basically, this encompasses a good chunk of that rain next week. And you get into those reds, we're talking some 3+ inch rainfall totals. So heavier to the north, lighter to the south. But overall, we would take the rain just as long as we spread it out over a good portion. 3 days. We just don't need too much too quickly.
Sure.
And hopefully that's the drink of water that crops and lawns need, and it'll cool us off.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
All right, Rusty, thank you. All right, Jared is watching all the roads, as many as he can.
Everything. You name a road, I'm watching it right now.
How are we looking right now?
So most of those roads are looking pretty good at this point. We haven't seen too many big delays that have started to pop up. There's what you're seeing throughout the area. And we did have an issue there, top right. That's 90th and Indian Hills, where we had the lights flashing. Those are functioning normally, as you can see now. So good news there. That would have been a big problem for southbound traffic on 90th, just south of Dodge. But as you can see, we don't have that issue there anymore. So it's a pretty smooth start to the morning drive. We're continuing to whittle away at those power outages, continue to watch for maybe a few delays. But mostly what I want to first alert you to is something next week, and that is the entrance to 480 southbound from 29. That closing beginning Monday morning, that's going to be in place for 8 weeks. You'll need to navigate around that to get to 480. And then you've got Midtown updates as the streetcar project continues. That includes Farnham eastbound from 36 to 33rd closing. You've got 36th south of Farnham, both directions closing. You've got 37th still closed for one more week north of Farnham. Now there's some good news. We'll reopen some of Farnham too between 33rd and Turner. Both directions will be open with that, and 33rd northbound approaching Farnham as well. So this is just going to be some more changes that you're going to be needing to navigate as we head into our Monday morning. I just want to give you that heads up so you could start planning for that before you come across it Monday.
Jared, thank you. In the meantime, it's about to cost more for students looking to attend college at the University of Nebraska system.
Not what parents want to hear. The Nebraska Board of Regents has approved a 5% tuition increase. The change starts this fall. In-state tuition will go up by about $500 a year. For out-of-state students, the increase will be about $1,500.
To me, what justifies a change in tuition is what does it take to maintain the extremely high quality of the educational product that we produce. It's really important to me that when a student graduates and has one of our diplomas, either undergraduate or graduate, that it really means something.
Well, the increase comes amid $20 million in budget cuts across the university system. An Iowa couple living life in the fast lane.
The remarkable milestone they're about to achieve when we come back. Iowa couple is aiming to ride their favorite roller coaster for the 2,000th time.
2,000? Okay. Tom and Margaret Wugazer come to Arnold's Park near Lake Okoboji nearly every day. Last year, well, okay, let's go back. They hit 1,200 rides last year and have started becoming quite the celebrities at the park.
They get to know everybody that works there. Everybody, when they walk through the gates, everybody's waving at them. Everybody's, Tom, Margaret. So, like, they've gotten their own fan base here for sure.
So the couple says to hit their goal, they're riding that coaster you see there 20 times each day. Now, those, look at them.
I'll give them some credit because as you get older, it's harder to do rides like that. My aunt and uncle we used to be really big roller coaster junkies. They had to stop eventually because they go to Magic Mountain in LA and they'd get like really sick afterwards because they're like, we're getting too old for this. So I was wondering what age they were because they were on the roller coaster and they done it 2,000 times. So that's impressive.
Yeah. Now this one didn't look like it was doing all this and
no, it's a pretty straightforward coaster.
Yeah. So that could be the reason why too. But good for them. They're going to hit it. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We sure hope you have a great weekend. We got to get ready for our update on the Today Show.
Have a great start to your weekend.
Live from WOWT, this is our First Alert 6 weather day.
Well, good Friday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
I'm Erin Hartley. Lot to get to today as far as weather and traffic, but it is First Alert weather day. We'll get to Rusty on this streak of heat we're experiencing.
Yeah, today's day number 1 of it, so you're going to go up to 101 for the high today. South wind to help us get there. That'll gust in your 40, 45 miles per hour. Humidity will push the heat index near 115 at times. Very easy to get heat exhaustion or heat stroke in temperatures like this, especially since this is the first bout of anything nearly this hot. I think 95 is the hottest we've been without the big humidity so far this season. So an intense stretch of heat. We're in the 70s right now. This is the start of the warming. Muggy meter is going to go up here in the muggy range next couple of hours. Hopefully relaxes a little bit, or up into the steamy range, I should say. Hopefully it backs off a little bit into the afternoon. Here's the peak heat index forecast. I think pretty easily near 110, and then occasionally we might be able to sneak up to 115 in some spots today. It's windy as well, gusting near 45 miles per hour along with it. Jarrett?
Still some lingering effects from overnight storms that rolled their way through the area. Now, power outages are improving, but we do still have some out there. So you need to watch for some intersections where the traffic lights may not be functioning normally and treat those as all-way stops. We've also got some debris left over too. A tree blocking the road on eastbound Childs near Fort Crook. So especially as you're making your way through Sarpy and into some of our Iowa towns, that's where you may find more of those impacts from the storms. Aside from that though, you're looking at things mostly moving along pretty well. You've got some construction slowdowns, but mostly moving along about as you would expect.
Body cam footage of 54-year-old Edward Henry has been released alongside with the autopsy. OPD says he died of a heart attack about 8 hours after he was booked into the Douglas County Jail.
Well, it is 7:28. We're back with another update for you in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then.